So I want to invite you into a place of paradoxical ponderings. I remember one of the talks that I gave in the past, I actually ended the talk with the Paradoxical Commandments by Kent M. Heath. And today I want to begin with them. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness will make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. The biggest men and women with the biggest ideas can be shot down by the smallest men and women with the smallest minds. Think big anyway. People favor underdogs but follow only top dogs. Fight for a few underdogs anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Build anyway. People really need help but may attack you if you do help them. Help people anyway. Give the world the best you have and you'll get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you have anyway. The thing about paradox is that paradox is an apparently contradictory statement that nonetheless expresses a truth idea. For example, Francis's cafe is too crowded. So a lot of people stopped going, yet it's still crowded anyway. Both statements are true. No one goes to at Francis's cafe anymore. It's too crowded. It frustrates us, though, to have these paradoxes because we prefer certainty. We like it neat and tidy, right? We want to be able to link to an illusion of security, but I need to know. And I think about this particularly with relationships, because I think that we can, like many things Marilyn was talking about, the evolution and change. And such an interesting thing it is with relationships, because what relationships really are is a continual choice. So if there is someone in front of you in relationship with you, in whatever form that has taken, there's power in knowing that that's a choice to be chosen again and again versus held by a vow or a word from the past. But that means we don't live in certainty or link to the past. We live in the present. We live in choices. Alan Watts has a teaching, and it's one of the most powerful teachings that I've ever heard from him, and I almost listen to him daily. So I feel like Alan Watts, Buddhist teacher, has many, many fantastic lessons. But the one that stands out to me right now and that I draw on again and again was he handed out to the audience this piece of embroidery. And on the front of embroidery, if it's done per directions, it looks really, really neat and tidy. It makes this gorgeous design. But at least for me, the back of the embroidery looks like a hot mess. It looks like lines everywhere. It looks like shortcuts. It looks like all sorts of things. And I think about that visual, and I think about life, and I think about the tendency we have to want to maybe live that outer peace, but it looks pretty at least, or deny that inner peace of all the workings in the mess. And yet it is in contrast that both of those exist. And if it were my personal embroidery, both the front and the back would look a little messy. And that's okay. That is absolutely okay. And so I invite you, as I'm talking this morning, to hold the idea that at the heart of life is good. That as you sink into life further and live this life, that there is good there. And the second piece is an invitation to consider your embroidery. Do you lean towards that front-facing side or that back-facing side? What is your relationship with that really neat, cool art front? or that really sort of messy back. No right, no wrong, just curiosity, witnessing and watching and noticing yourself. I'm also going to talk less today and meditate more. So I want to prepare you for that and invite you into a space of slowing down and connecting. So these paradoxes, on and on they go. The only constant is change. The only certainty is that nothing is ever certain. The more choices you have, the less satisfied you are with each one. The more you try to argue with someone, the less likely you are to convince them of your perspective. The more honest you are about your faults, the more people will think you're perfect. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. Over this past, I would say 2 or even 3 years, I've talked in the past about trading being good for being real. And interestingly enough, in that process of doing so, I find that there is more space for all of the good things in my life. Again, it's trading that mindset of good for what is real and what is there, noticing it not as an absolute, but holding space for understanding that all these multiplicities exist within us. I remember when I first started coming to Unity, hearing the line, there are many paths, many people on the paths, and we accept all paths. But even that simple lesson, at least for me, is maybe one of the hardest ones to live. Because we know that any creative needs to stand alone on a path, but we want to bring people with us. Maybe we want to recruit something. Maybe we find something so great that we want to bring everybody on our path with us. And also, by the way, I'll bring you to my point of light too. Maybe we believe one path is better than the other, so we fight to make that path the dominant path. Maybe we're overwhelmed by the choices and seeing that how much power we have to create our lives. We just stand and look at the pathways. Or maybe, like the earlier paradox said, because we have so many choices, the power of those numbs out and we're just uncertain about what to do. Charles Dickens, in talking about a city, said this: "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." And this, I suppose, is the paradox, to hold the multiplicity of all of these aspects and to live into being a contradiction through our life journey and living in a life that in itself is completely paradoxical. When I think about life as one of the 12 powers, I think about its location, its connection to the root chakra. The root chakra is connected to reproductive organs, that creativity, that energy. What do you want to produce and create in the world? This becomes foundational. This is the area where it roots like the tree. This is where we ground. What do you ground in? What balances you? This is also, interestingly enough, where our basic needs sit and our need for survival sits. It doesn't surprise me then that it is also the place of the 12th power, life. And the thing about the 12 powers of life is that we have this connection to Judas rather, and within that we have this pendulum or tension that exists. And those pendulums and tension that exist for us, part of our journey is to get more comfortable with discomfort, whether that is meeting other people in conflict, whether that is meeting our own truth, whether that's looking at ourselves and seeing what's there. But those aspects of self guide us to our higher consciousness. There's value in them. And the life energy, that energy of flowing animation, it calls us into living the whole. But the whole itself isn't rooted in certainty or security or a false sense of security. And the value of that is that it calls us to animate the other 12 the other 11 powers, including that Christ energy, that part of ourselves that sees that we're divine and sees others as divine. And it calls us up into that higher consciousness, that higher way of living. If I were to glean 3 lessons of the root chakra, and I would imagine personally that the lessons are endless, but if I were to draw on 3 lessons of the root chakra today, it'd be the invitation to slow down. Our culture reveres speed. We want everything to move fast. The first chakra is all about the wisdom of slowing down and grounding into who you are. And the best part about that is that who you are isn't attached to what's going on around you. Who you are, that soul space, is distinct. It is the being for which you hold well going through whatever it is that you're going through. Embrace manifestation. It's a choice to see the many possibilities, many planes, many tensions, many possibilities, and to allow this to energize and animate us. But as I said before, that takes a skill to hold the multiplicity, to not sit in one place or another too long. It invites us to see with many different perspectives and many lenses. And my personal belief is that this is a superpower. This is an energy that unity provides through its teachings. What we probably resist in some ways then is our right to be right. Because what we think we really, really know closes us. When we open to possibilities, that opens us again. There's more relationship and connection in living questions together than there is in thinking we've found the one right and absolute answer. And then the last one, similar to slowing down, but slightly different, is be like a tortoise. A cousin to lesson 1, but the tortoise just isn't just slow. It's steady. It's got a tenaciousness. The side of the root chakra that says, I show up again and again, and I show up as me, the unshakable, unbreakable me. And that part of the invitation of doing that, the inner work that we do, is to know what those parts are. And 3 lessons of life, or the life power. Awaken. An invitation to awaken life as a quality and an energy to flow through us, to rest in the foundation of life, a space for which powers can grow and respond to what is. Awakening to our empowerment, to our power, to our capability, to our beauty. And the theme of today, joy. Enjoy, to cultivate our enjoy, our ability to take pleasure and delight in the experiences of life. And I would suggest that being able to enjoy life, particularly during challenges, is one of the very greatest gifts we've been given. That joy and sorrow are existing together, and that they, in some ways, walk hand in hand. So can we hold joy in sorrow, and can we hold sorrow in joy? And lastly, embrace. We are paradox. Our ability to hold this reality and tension will determine how we animate and how energy can flow through us. What I mean to say is this. If we only acknowledge certain aspects of life, then those aspects of life will be the parts that can flow through us. However, if we reframe and expand our ability to see, we may see that there is value and good in things that we first resisted. But that takes a massive amount of courage. And a great example of this that I have in my life is a friend of mine who grew up being told that anger wasn't an emotion you can have. And so they dodged around it. And when they felt angry, they pushed it down and they pushed it aside. And somewhere in their life, they came to learn that anger and all emotions have a space. They have room. How we act out of them is a choice. Having them is essential. Anger can be a powerful guide. And in that process of embracing anger, this friend was able to start to live a more authentic life, actually changed careers and moved forward in a different way and started to see anger as a compass that allowed them to ignite passion for life. So embracing that we are a paradox, embracing the all, looking at the world around us and saying, I am all that, and it is in me. That's powerful, as that causes us to have to look at those aspects of ourselves. And that's part of what cultivates this wholeness that we desire. Carl Rogers, the curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. So that resistance of aspects of ourselves really, really slows down our ability to change. But when we see with a lens of realness and we hold that and the idea that the heart of life is good all at the same time, that we are a mix and a blend of all these things, and we start to see ourselves, maybe both seeing that we have a lot to learn and that we've learned a lot, that both of those things can be true, that we start to change, that transformation happens because there's a lack of resistance to the flow that's happening through us. We're not saying no to this and yes to this. We're saying, yeah, that's there. And this is who I am in whatever it is I am going through. So as mentioned, I've chosen this morning to spend more time in meditation. And so today I want to invite you on a journey, an elongated meditation, an invitation to slow down, to zoom in, zoom out at the beauty of life, to begin to reveal and uncover aspects of life and self that have gotten missed in the busy that we have created with our time, perhaps in our minds, in our expectations, with one another, or within our own hearts. Through chant, video, silence, and guided meditation, I invite you into the gift that the root chakra, life, and this very time of year and season are calling us into. It is as though I can hear the universe whispering, slow down, come, create with me, slow and steady, show up again and again, awaken, enjoy. Yes, it's okay to enjoy, even in the storms, especially in the storms. Embrace the all, including yourself. Include yourself in that embrace. Slow down, connect, and most of all, remember that the heart of life is good. What am I rushing to? Oh, what am I rushing for? What am I rushing to? Oh, what am I rushing for? Slow down, and savor. Slow down, and savor. What am I rushing to? Oh, what am I rushing for? What am I rushing to? Oh, what am I rushing for? Slow down and savor. Slow down and savor. There will be storms. These will remind you to root yourself deeply. These will challenge you to know who you are. I mean, who you are really. Who are you really? What about now? Because life will change you. This isn't a flaw in the system. It is a gift. Grow, risk, reach, embrace, flow. There is a quality to the storm. Notice a freedom, an openness, movement, action, changing, growing, moving, energy, animation, expansion. Can you find the stillness in the storm? Can you find the storm within yourself? What can you make of it? What can it make of you? What is the wisdom of the storm gifting you in this life? Can you feel the heartbeat of the universe? Slow down and savor. Slow down, and savor. Slow down, and savor. Slow down, and savor. What am I rushing to? What am I rushing for? What am I rushing to? What am I rushing for? Zoom in for a moment. Come closer. Do not fear the storm. See the beauty that is embedded in this very moment, within you, within me, within each and every snowflake that makes up the storm. Slow down, the universe whispers. Come sit with me. We can watch together the unfolding. There is so much beauty that your eyes will not believe all that is under the surface. You'll miss it if you run by, or if you only look with one lens or perspective. But you can zoom in and out. You can see the multiplicity of life. Come sit with me. Watch. It's beautiful. It's life. Remember to appreciate the beauty of the snowflake. And to appreciate the beauty of the snowflake, it is necessary to stand out in the cold. Oh, beautiful one. Feel your heartbeat. Feel the universe's heartbeat. Do not fear being overwhelmed by the beauty and power within and around you. Can you feel it? It is as though the universe whispers, I have designed you much like the snowflake. Beautiful, unique, and vital to the world, with things only you can bring, with gifts only you can offer. I know this world can be a lot, but embedded in your DNA is the reminder that you are extraordinary. And I will place that message in the energy of the wind so that when it blows you, you will see what you are made of. Watch. Be amazed at what you can do. Also, much like the snowflake, the design for you to impact the community is real. You are designed to do great things, much moving, changing, and growing. And that change will happen best when you stick together. Not in a way that only one form of snowflake can exist, but rather in a way that there is room for the multiplicity to exist. This diversity, these paradoxes are vital. Grow into this. Grow into the ability to hold the all that is, whether you ignore it, see it, embrace it, acknowledge it. It is there. It is in you, and it is around you. Come on, little snowflake. Show up. Embrace. Enjoy. You are best whole. You are vital, important, and who you are is exactly what the world needs. What am I rushing to? Oh, what am I rushing for? What am I rushing to? Oh, what am I rushing for? Slow down and savor. Slow down and savor. Slow down and savor. Slow down and savor. People are illogical, unreasonable, and self-centered. Love them anyway. If you do good, people will accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Do good anyway. If you are successful, you will win false friends and true enemies. Succeed anyway. The good you do today will be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. The biggest people with the biggest ideas can be shot down by the smallest people with the smallest minds. Think big anyway. People favor underdogs, but follow only top dogs. Fight for a few underdogs anyway. What you spend years building may be destroyed overnight. Build anyway. People really need help, but they may attack you if you do help them. Help people anyway. Give the world the best you have and you'll get kicked in the teeth. Give the world the best you have anyway. Slow down and savor. Know this: the heart of life is good.